Hi everybody, this is Mastan from Singapore. I am working in CWT Integrated Private Limited. Currently I am doing my research on network security. I have already completed my PhD degree in the field computer network security. In my PhD, I had find out algorithm to avoid zero-day networks in computer networks. Here I am very happy to deliver the content about starting from education to research and also some of the leading current trends topics in the year 2024. Before I am going to start our topic, first I have to say thanks to this team in Malawi because they provide better future for all the people through their education, development and exchange program in the learning systems. In this video, we are going to see about from education to research and research trends in the year 2024. So now we are going to see what do you mean by education and types of education and role of education in the coming slides. Now we move on to the next slide. In this slide we are going to see about what you mean by education. What do you mean by education? Education is nothing but acquiring knowledge or getting knowledge. This is called education. This education is so much important for every human life. Education is nothing but teaching and learning process. It's a combination of teaching and learning process is called education. So education is the process of acquiring or getting knowledge. This knowledge may be some kind of skills or good habits also one kind of education. Then we are going to see about what are all the types of education. Actually the education is divided into two types. One is formal education, second one is informal education. So we can see one by one. First one is formal education. What do you mean by formal education? We all know if we want to educate, we have to go school, college or universities. There we have teachers, they are teaching subjects. Through that subject we are getting knowledge. So this is a formal education. Then the second one is informal education. Is nothing but learning through our life experience. In informal education, the people not no need to go to school. They are getting knowledge, they are getting something from their life experience. We are all know that we have one proverb, that is experience is a best teacher. So now you are all clear about what you mean by education and types of education, right? So education, once again I telling you, education is nothing but getting knowledge or acquiring knowledge or process of getting knowledge. So in the knowledge means it may be skills or it may be good habits also, one kind of knowledge. Those things are getting through education only. So actually we have two types of education. One is formal education, second one is informal education. In okay, so in formal education we have to go to school or college or universities. There we can get the knowledge through our teaching. That is what formal education. In informal education is what learning through our life experience. Day by day we are getting knowledge. That is called informal education. Then we move on to the our next slide. In our next slide we are going to see about the role of education. Role of education. Actually, education plays a major role in all our life. Education support our personal development, socialization, and economic prosperity, shaping individual and societies also. So education only will give good habit or good thinking to individual and also the whole society. If we are educated, we can develop ourselves. This is what personal development. Through the education only we are getting knowledge. We can become a skilled person. So we can get the easy job. Through that we can improve our economic status. On to the next slide. Then we move on to the next slide. Education versus national growth. Actually, the national growth is mainly based on the level of education of the people. And education and the national growth are closely connected because education helps countries grow and develop in many ways. Among these, some of are listed in this slide. First one is better job, second one is innovation, third one is stable society, fourth one is equality. Now we can see one by one. Better job. If the people having a good education, they can do more skilled job. This helps business grow up and make the economy stronger. The next one is innovations. Innovation meaning what? Inventing something. Innovation means education teaches people to think critically and solve problem. This leads to new ideas and inventions that improve technology and increase our economy level. Then third one is stable society. Education can only give people to understand each other. It leads to good society and less conflict, which create stable environment for growth of nation. Then fourth one is equality. Equality means what? Treating all peoples are same, or looking all peoples are same. Education only can give more chance to individual to grow up regardless of any background. If anyone grow up, there is no inequality. It helps to form a good society. Through the education, if all our peoples are educated and grow up, that there is no inequality in those conditions. So it helps to form a good society. Then we move on to the next slide. In our next slide, we are going to see about education versus research. Education versus research. Already we discussed about this education. So education is about teaching and learning. In simply we can say education will help people to gain knowledge or skills. But in research is about exploring new ideas. The research is entirely different from education. Research is a deep planning of particular area or topic to get the depth knowledge. By doing the research, we can find out the solution for a program or solving some problems. This is what a research. In education, the teaching and learning is a combined process in education. For in research, researcher investigate topic or conducting experiments or surveys or studying existing information. From there, the researcher will get some new ideas. Is what research. In simply, we can say the education is the process of teaching to the people what is already known, while the research discover new things that we are not known before. So the both the education and research are so much important in all the nations. Now we move on to our next slide. In our next slide, we are going to see about what you mean by research and research process. First, we are going to see what you mean by research. Research is come from two words. One is re and second one is search. Here you know the re means again and again. Search means looking for something. So research means again and again looking for something is called research. For definition of research is finding answer for a particular solution or solving problem or, or solving problem to find out the solution or finding solution to the problem is called research. Then now we can go to the research process. What do you mean by research process? Research is a big activity. So research process is includes all the activities of the research from starting to end of our research. The research process having various stages and steps. Among those, some of the important steps are in our next slide. Now we are going to see our next slide to see the steps in research process. Now we move on to the next slide. Before that, I will explain. Research is nothing but again and again deep learning is called the research. Finding answer to the question or finding solution to the problem, that is what research. The output of research is what we can get the new concept or new idea or new skill is called research. So research process is nothing but what are all the activities we have to carry out to complete our research process is called research process. In the research process we are having several stages. Now we can see one by one. We move on to the next slide to see the what are all the steps are there in research. There are 11 steps are there. First one is formulation of problem, review of literature. Third one is formulating hypothesis. Fourth one is selecting research design. Fifth one is specifying the population. Sixth one is sampling, which means sample selection. Seventh one is ethical consideration, pilot study, data collection, data analysis and interpretation, communication and utilization. Now we can see each and every step of the research process. First one is formulation of problem. What do you mean by formulation of problem? Formulation of problem means to identify a problem or to identify a question to which we are going to find out the answer and solution. Simply we can say format of our question or selecting our research topic or content is called formulation of problem. Second one is review of literature. Review of literature means we are collecting all the knowledge of our topic is called literature review. For example, if you are going to do survey or research on cancer diseases, means the researcher have to consider all kind of cancers and its symptoms and its treatments and its effects. That is called literature review. In the literature review, the researcher have to go through all the articles of his related to his topic. Then third one is formulating hypothesis. Formulating hypothesis means define our required solution or output of our research or required answers. Hypothesis means assumption of our final result. According to the final result, the researcher have to follow the research, have to find out the new result. Then fourth one is selecting research design. Here we want to know what do you mean by research design. It means the overall plan of the research and the planning of how to conduct the entire research work. The whole structure is called research design. In research design is like a flowchart of your program. How the program is going to be executed, the steps in the flowchart, the program is going to be executed. Same like here, research design is the steps or procedure to execute our research. It's called research design. In this research design gives the complete flow of research. Then fifth one is specifying the population. Here what do you mean by population? Which means the specifying the population means it refers to the entire group of individuals or items that the researcher is interested to studying. For example, if the researcher want to do cancer research, he have to refer all the cancer patients and cancer cells and cancer treatment and cancer symptoms, everything related to the cancer he have to go through. In this step, the researcher have to take all the relevant data or individuals or case studies. So specifying the problem means or specifying the population means the researcher have to go through all the data or information related to the research topic. Then sample selection. The sixth step is sample selection. In the previous, researcher take all the relevant data, but in the sample selection, researcher is going to take the limited number of data from the population is called sample. So population means the researcher is going to take all the data related to the topic. In sampling, researcher going to select some samples or some required data from the population. In simply, we can say that the researcher will take some samples from the population is called sample selection. So once again I can say the population means all related data. Sample means some data are selected from the population. Then seventh one is ethical consideration. Here the ethical consideration means the researcher have to follow and obey all the rules and regulation of the local bodies or government or individuals. For example, if the researcher is going to do research on cancer research, he have to obey and follow the hospital rules and government rules and the individual opinion. Then eighth one is pilot study. The pilot study is a rehearsal of our research. In simply says, the pilot study is a simplified flow of our entire research or simple simulation. This is called pilot study. The next state is or step is data collection. So at the end of the pilot study, a researcher will reach out the final knowledge or final data or outputs. So this output or data should be collected properly and have to be arranged required mannerly is called data collection. The pilot study is almost end state of our research. After this, researcher can produce some outputs. These are datas. These datas are the output of the research. In simply, we can say the data collection is the result of the research. Then these datas are to be arranged and processed as information. Then 10th one is data analysis and interpretation. In this state, the researcher analyzes and evaluates the data which is from the output of research and rearrange this data in a specific manner which is called data analysis and interpretation. So the output data is going to be rearranged and produce the result is what research result. Then last one is communication and utilization. In the communication or utilization, the researcher will got his research or output or result. In this stage, the researcher must discuss his research finding to other researcher or scholars or scientists or public. So through the journal publication or writing books or conducting press conference, the researcher can discuss their research output to others. At last, the researcher have to implement or utilize his concept in a successful manner. These are all the steps of research. In our next slides, we are going to see about what are all the major trends in research fields in the year 2024. We will continue on next slides.